armed anti-government protesters occupying federal land at a national wildlife refuge and calling on militia members from around the country to join them. ABC's Neil Karlinski has the latest, joins us from the scene there in Burns, Oregon. Good morning, Neil.
Robin, good morning. This is the wildlife refuge that militia group has taken over. And take a look, you can see they've actually draped an American flag over the sign here, and those cars down there are part of a makeshift roadblock that they've set up. There has been no violence at all out here, but this group does say they are prepared to defend themselves if necessary. Overnight, ABC News is taken inside the standoff, where several dozen militiamen, some openly armed, are camping out for a second night at this federal wildlife refuge.
There's no vandalism. We want to leave this place the way we found it.
Their claim that this land doesn't belong to the federal government, but to the people.
This refuge here is rightfully owned by the people.
The group vowing to occupy the outpost for years.
I am 100% willing to lay my life down to fight against tyranny in this country.
In this clip, first posted to Facebook, one of the reported militiamen overheard issuing a call to arms, urging others to join them.
We need you to bring your arms.
It all started Saturday at a large rally protesting the jail sentence of a pair of ranchers, Dwight and Stephen Hammond, both scheduled to report to prison today to serve a 5-year sentence for an alleged arson fire on federal land.
I'm going to jail for 5 years for 127. Seems like a bit of an overkill.
The attorneys for the men, who already served some time for this conviction but were released, claim they set the fires to prevent an invasive species of plant from growing on their land.
I love you! We support you!
While at the rally, a large group broke off after one of the leaders proclaimed, "Those who want to take a hard stand, get in your trucks and follow me." Nevada rancher Ammon Bundy leading the protests. His family making headlines in 2014 after his father faced off with federal agents in Nevada over cattle grazing rights. Today, he says his actions will be peaceful. Schools in the area have been closed as a precaution. In the meantime, those ranchers whose arson charges started all this say they do not support what's going on here. They plan to report to prison as scheduled peacefully later today, George.
Thank you, Neil. We are joined from the compound now by Ammon Bundy and Lavoy Finicum. Thank you for joining us this morning. Mr. Bundy, let me ask you, the County Sheriff David Ward has called your group's actions an attempt to overthrow the county and federal government to spark a movement across the United States. Is he right?
Absolutely not. He's ignored the people. We have worked with him for several months now, trying to get him to stand and make a stand for these the Hammonds. He's refused to do it, and we have tried the prudent methods to get government to at least look at this and say, hey, there's something wrong here. The rest of America can see that there's something wrong.
But you know that the Hammonds,
for some reason, the sheriff is not listening.
But the Hammonds themselves are actually giving themselves up. They're saying you do not speak for them.
Oh, I do not speak for the Hammonds, but we have spoken many, many times, and we understand each other on this issue. And the Hammonds are only going to jail because they just feel there's nothing else for them to do. But they very well know that this is wrong, along with all their neighbors and the other ranchers in the area. They understand that this is very wrong that's going on.
So how does this end? Your brother Ryan Bundy told the Portland Oregonian that you and your group is willing to kill and be killed if necessary.
Well, I think when people are defending their rights, that's always what we have to stand on. We have to be willing to say, look, we'll do what it takes to defend our rights. And if we're not willing to do that, they'll be taken away.
If it's peaceful, why are you armed?
We're armed because we understand that in order to truly express our First Amendment rights, we have to have our Second Amendment rights, and that's why the founders gave them to us, or at least that's why the founders protect them in the Constitution. It's important that we stand and people know that we're serious.
And you need to understand that we have no intent of pointing a gun at anybody, but let's be clear here. Who's pointed guns at me? Who's pointed guns at Ammon? They have. Who said that we will shoot you? We never have. They have. When we stood there at Bundy's, they were pointing guns at us and saying that they shoot us. We have no intent of doing that.
Thank you both.
Yep, thank you.
Like this have ended in bloodshed in the past.
And hopefully it will remain peaceful, though, this time, though, George.